warm welcome to the البركة Forum for Islamic Economy here in the timeless city of Istanbul, a city that for centuries has stood as a bridge between continents, between civilizations, and indeed, between tradition and the future. It is only fitting that we gather here where merchants once traded spices, silk, and stories along the old Silk Road, and where visionary scholars shaped philosophies that still guide us today. And we are once again reminded that the Islamic world has long been a center of not just spiritual, but economic wisdom. This forum is not just a conference. It's a platform for ideas, a marketplace for innovation, and above all, a gathering of conscience where we explore how Islamic economic principles can offer not only profitability, but purpose, not only growth, but justice, and not only returns, but responsibility. In a world grappling with inequality, climate crisis, and economic instability, the ethical foundations of the Islamic economy rooted in risk-sharing, social justice, and real asset-based finance offer a powerful alternative, one that aligns faith with fairness and belief with bold innovation. Today, you will hear from leading thinkers and practitioners who are reimagining Islamic finance in the digital age, investing in halal ecosystems, empowering young entrepreneurs, and reviving timeless institutions like the Waqf for the 21st century challenges. Whether it's blockchain or zakat, impact investing, or micro murabaha, this is where the future of the Islamic economy is being shaped. So I invite you to lean in, to engage, to question, to connect, because over the next 3 days, what we build together here will ripple far beyond these walls. From Istanbul to Jakarta, Dubai to Dakar, from the boardrooms of Bahrain to the classrooms of Kuala Lumpur, the ideas shared here matter. Once again, hoş geldiniz, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. May this forum be filled with barakah, with insights, with partnerships, with progress. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Secretary General of البركة Forum for Islamic Economy, His Excellency, Mr. Yusuf Hassan Khalawi.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellencies, our esteemed partners, speakers, experts, our valued guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is with great pleasure to welcome you here in Istanbul Financial Center, where we are hosting our second Global Islamic Economy Summit in Istanbul. And we are happy to host that summit today and inshallah in the future in the right address in Istanbul. This is just a quick welcoming speech before the opening ceremony, which will be inshallah this afternoon. So I would like just to highlight few points in that speech. Few weeks ago, we had our first reception in Kuala Lumpur. So at the end of that event, one of the guests, he came to me, he thanks me for inviting him to that reception. And he said something is really very important for us as partners, not just for Al-Baraka Forum. He said, I think you like always to walk in a new road, not in the normal road. So I appreciated what he said, but I told him, thank you for that, but I have just a small modification for your word. We look to create new roads, not just to walk on a new road. And this is what we are creating in Istanbul. in Al-Madinah, in London, in Kuala Lumpur, in Karachi, in Cairo, and many other cities are coming, and this is beside our different projects and initiatives. Today, inshallah, just in that morning session, we will have a very special announcement for our first index for sustainability. And we are happy to make that special announcement in Istanbul Financial Center because we believe it is the right place to make this, and inshallah even later to launch it, and you will see in the short video how important is that initiative. And we believe we will not be able to do that without the right partnership with different partners. We always take the lead to create the initiative, but we never do anything alone. All of our projects, all our initiatives, we believe it will not work unless we gather our hands to work together. So a special thanks for our partners, for our sponsors to make that happen. And inshallah, we are looking to work forward in Istanbul, not just in that global summit, but to make that center part of the Islamic economy ecosystem. We need to create more and more initiatives, especially with the transformation of power which we are recognizing year after year to our part of the world. I welcome everyone in that beautiful city and looking for 3 days this time, alhamdulillah, with 3 new workshops plus our annual conference. And inshallah, we are hosting this year our first Researchers Day, which will be in Sunday, because we believe this is also part of our role to develop and to support and to introduce our new researchers to the industry. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for those remarks, Mr. Khalawi. I'd now like to introduce our first keynote speaker of the day, the Chief Executive Officer and member of the Board of the Turkey Wealth Fund, His Excellency, Mr. Salim Arda Ermurt.
Assalamu alaikum. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues. It's a privilege to welcome you to the second Global Islamic Economy Summit here in Istanbul and at the heart of its emerging financial center and future. I would like to thank the Al-Baraka Forum for bringing us together, and gatherings like that, this really matters. They help us build trust, share ideas, and shape the future of Islamic finance on a global scale. We are proud to be a part of this important conversation, and we are especially proud to host you here, not just in Istanbul, but at the Istanbul Finance Center. For our institution, Turkey Wealth Fund, Istanbul Finance Center reflects both a national ambition and a strategic investment. Today, we are building on it. Since we, especially for Istanbul Finance Center as a hub of the finance, hopefully for Turkey and the Islamic finance, we put this institution not as a physical structure, but also as a hub for an incubation center for Islamic finance also. And we are not just put it, as I said, as a structure, as a office building, but at the same time as a principle and as a means and instrument for it. And as I said, we are now building on it. We executed several deals, especially this year as the Turkey Wealth Fund, a Murabaha deal, and also a $150 million deal. And at the same time, with another Islamic bank, we made another deal with a value of $100 million. But these are not isolated transactions. They are markers for growing trust and deeper financial connectivity with the Islamic world. But especially underlining the position of the Istanbul Finance Center, we issued our first international sukuk in 2024. It was a $750 million sukuk deal, and demand was extraordinary. It came in at more than 15 times of the offering size, and with this high interest, we didn't stop here. We added another $250 million US, and it brought us to a total value of $1 billion. But the interesting thing was the underlying asset was Istanbul Finance Center, and we deemed this as a very critical step because it was the first time a Turkish institution other than Treasury or participation banks has engaged in the global sukuk market at this scale. And this is why we always say this, putting Istanbul Finance Center as the underlying asset was not just a technical decision, but we want to send a clear message. This was not just symbolic, it's functional, investable, and it's credible. The deal couldn't have happened without the Istanbul Finance Center itself, without its structure, without its legal setup, and of course, without the trust it represents. It gave investors the confidence. It showed Turkey is serious about building a reliable and a modern financial system, and strong institutions make strong markets. Every issuance we make sets a benchmark. Every deal signals credibility, and every step builds a path others can follow. Our vision goes beyond individual transactions, I must say. At the Turkey Wealth Fund, we believe Islamic finance has a critical role in shaping a fairer and more resilient financial system. And what it stands for, I mean the transparency, shared risks, real economic activity are not just good to have. They are exactly what today's system is missing. In a world of searching for stability and trust, Islamic finance offers both. It favors long-term value over short-term gains, and it prioritizes inclusion over speculation. It brings finance closer to the real economy and closer to the people it serves. This is not a theory, this is what the world needs actually. At the Turkey Wealth Fund, we have two core main goals: to deepen our financial markets in Turkey and to back our country's long-term priorities. And this vision fits right into the both of these goals. This is why also we established Türkiye Katılım Sigorta and Türkiye Katılım Hayat companies. The Katılım means participation, meaning the Islamic finance in Turkey, and in their very names, these two companies actually represent this new mentality also in our economy. We established two participation Islamic based insurance and life companies. And we see participant-based Islamic insurance as one of the great untapped opportunities in Islamic finance. And it addresses real needs, I mean the protection, retirement, and the family security, while staying true to the ethical principles. We aim to grow this ecosystem with discipline, vision, and purpose. And we are doing it from here, from Istanbul. The Istanbul Finance Center is a launchpad and a springboard for it. It brings together the institutions, talent, and infrastructure. It is where models can emerge, where new partnerships can form. But more than that, it reflects a deeper shift. For too long, the center of gravity in the Islamic finance hasn't been where the values originate. We believe it is time for this center to shift towards the region that don't use Islamic finance, but actually live it. Regions where it is part of the fabric, not just the framework. Under the vision and the leadership of our President, His Excellency Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, which I can proudly say at the same time our chairman of the board in the Turkey Wealth Fund, Turkey is stepping in that role with confidence and with commitment. And as the Turkey Wealth Fund, we proudly support this vision, and we see it as a defining vision for our future. Our ambition is clear: to help Islamic finance scale, deepen, and modernize through digital innovation, stronger capital flows, and global best practices, all while staying true to its core principles. This means investing in technology, in legal infrastructure, in financial literacy, and education. It means creating new instruments, expanding the investor base, and of course, supporting entrepreneurs driving next generation solutions. And it means building bridges between fintech and institutions, between scholars and practitioners, between tradition and transformation. Because if we are to lead, we must also innovate. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Islamic finance is no longer a niche, but it's more than just an alternative. It is a serious answer to the kind of uncertainty the world keeps facing at the moment. Few regions understand actually uncertainty better than us. For centuries, we've lived through crisis, conflicts, and instability, but these challenges have made us resilient. This is also the motto of our investment office, which is also my previous institution. I can proudly say that sometimes I'm saying fortunately and unfortunately, this part of the world has never been a stable part of the world actually in the history. If you dig in every meter, you can find the graveyard of another civilization. This maybe seems threatening, but at the same time, it shows the resilience and the experience that accumulated in the people here in these territories. This is why we usually telling the investors, when I was in the investment office, and I'm sure the existing chairman, Mr. Dawlol, is doing the same thing in a better way. We were saying that asking again the same questions again and again, what about the regional conflicts, what about the problems, what about the crisis. It is important to concentrate on the talent and experience here, the difference that we can offer to the uncertainties of the world. Now, in a search of these, the new anchors, new models, this part of the world actually can offer new opportunities with their experience, with their resilience that they accumulated throughout the years. And this is how we survived in these territories. And now I think we can say that we have something to offer in that way. The same resilience, we believe that lives in also Islamic finance. It is rooted in values that promote stability, transparency, shared risk, and real economic activity. It offers something different from the short-term thinking of conventional finance. When economic crisis shook global markets, the world began to search for new models. And many began to question the foundations of the conventional finance. The moment revealed the cost of excess and the risks and of disconnection from real economic value. Islamic finance showed that another way is also possible. And today, we can confidently say we are in the right place, at the right time, with the right people. This is the moment to take the model further and bring it to the world. Turkey is proud to build the future, not by following, but also by leading with clarity and intent. We are committed to expanding this vision through partnerships, through leadership, and also through, of course, action. Let us remember, what makes Islamic finance powerful is not how it works, but why it works, actually. It is grounded in human dignity, in shared success, and in trust. In this moment of global uncertainty, that spirit matters more than ever, we believe. Together, we can build something lasting, a financial system that does more than generate returns, but that generates hope, stability, and shared prosperity. Thank you for being a part of this vision, and also part of this organization, participation in this organization, which is very important, we believe, for this region. This is why I want to thank again all the organizers, starting with the Al-Barka Forum, Mr. Yusuf Alawi, and thank you for the patience and listening to me. I hope you get the best inputs throughout today from the rest of the sessions and this conversation. Thanks very much.
Mr. Armut, thank you for your contributions. I'd now like to invite the Governor of the Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency Dr. Fatih Karahan.
Sayın Başkanlarım, protokolün kıymetli üyeleri, saygıdeğer katılımcılar, hepinizi en içten duygularımla, saygı ve muhabbetle selamlıyorum. Al-Baraka Forum kapsamında bir kez daha sizlerle birlikte olmaktan büyük bir memnuniyet duyuyorum. Katılım finans alanında öncü fikirlerin ve çözüm önerilerinin paylaşıldığı böylesi saygın bir etkinlikte bankamızı temsilen yer almak benim için ayrı bir anlam taşıyor. Saygıdeğer katılımcılar, Türkiye'de finansal sistemin derinleşmesi, sürdürülebilir büyümenin önemli bir bileşenidir. Toplumun farklı kesimlerinin finansal sisteme dahil edilmesi ve birikimlerin faydalı yatırımlara dönüşebilmesi için finansal araç çeşitliliğinin artırılması gerekmektedir. Bu perspektifle Türkiye'de katılım finansın finansal ürün ve hizmet çeşitliliğini geliştirmek yoluyla finansal piyasalarımızın gelişimine verdiği katkıyı önemsiyoruz. Bugün yapacağım sunumda ilk olarak Türkiye'deki katılım finans sektörünün öne çıkan bazı özelliklerini hatırlatacağım. Daha sonra bankamızca katılım finans sektörüne yönelik olarak uygulanan düzenleme çerçevesinin genel yapısı ve gelişiminden bahsedeceğim. Son olarak sektörün uzun vadeli küresel görünümüne değineceğim. Katılım finans sektörünün Türkiye'deki varlığı esasen çok gerilere gitmemektedir ve sektörün oluşum yıllarındaki büyüme temposu düşük seyretmiştir. Ancak özellikle son 10 yıl içinde Türkiye'de katılım finans sektörü hızlı bir büyüme göstermiş ve katılım finansın bankacılık sektörü içindeki payı %5,3'ten %8,3'e yükselmiştir. Katılım finans sektörü büyümeye devam etmekte ve son yıllarda sektöre yeni girişler gerçekleşmektedir. Bu hızlı büyüme temposu ülkemizde katılım finans sektörüne olan artan talebi göstermektedir. Yeni kuruluşların sektöre girmesiyle bir yandan sektörün büyüklüğü artarken, diğer taraftan rekabet koşulları iyileşmektedir. Katılım finans sektörü, finansal tasarruf araçlarını çeşitlendirerek ve finansal kapsayıcılığı artırarak finansal piyasaların gelişimine katkı vermektedir. Nitekim bu katkılar verilerden de görülebiliyor. Sektörün finansman olanaklarında ağırlıklı olarak KOBİ firmaları kullanmaktadır. Katılım finansın sunduğu ticari finansmanın bankacılık sektörünün toplam ticari kredileri içerisindeki payı %6 seviyesinden KOBİ finansmanda bu payın yaklaşık %13 seviyesine yükseldiğini görüyoruz. Diğer taraftan katılım finans altın hesapları ile sektöre finansal araç çeşitliliği sunarak bankacılık sektörü dışındaki kesimlere erişim sağlıyor. Böylece yastık altı tasarrufların ekonomiye kazandırılmasını teşvik ederek finansal kapsayıcılığa katkı sunuyor. Değerli katılımcılar, küresel anlamda para politikası araçlarının çeşitliliğinin arttığı ve makro ihtiyati araçların daha yaygın kullanıldığı bir dönemdeyiz. Benzer şekilde TCMB olarak biz de hem likidite araçlarımızı hem de makro ihtiyati çerçevemizi dönem dönem güncelliyoruz. Bu güncellemeleri yaparken katılım finansın iş modelindeki farklılıkları dikkate alıyor ve gerektiği yerde farklılaştırmalar yaparak ya da alternatif araçlar uygulamaya koyarak sektörün gelişimini destekliyoruz. Özellikle geleneksel likidite yönetim araçlarının katılım finans ilkeleriyle uyumlu olmaması, katılım finans kurumlarının finansal sistem içinde verimli bir şekilde faaliyet göstermesini sınırlanabiliyor. Bu nedenle konvansiyonel bankalarla benzer koşullarda likiditeye erişim ve uygun likidite risk yönetim mekanizmalarının geliştirilmesi sektörün büyüme potansiyeline katkıda bulunmakta. Bu bağlamda katılım finans kuruluşlarının bankamızın sağladığı likidite olanaklarına erişimi için operasyonel çerçevede, sözleşmelerde ve araçlarda gerekli olan yeni düzenlemeleri, değişiklikleri ve alternatif yöntemleri 2010 yılından bu yana kademeli olarak uygulamaya koyuyoruz. Bu çalışmaların en önemli sonuçlarından biri, katılım finans kuruluşlarının açık piyasa işlemlerine diğer bankalarla eşit koşullarda erişimlerinin sağlanması olmuştur. Son zamanlarda ise dönem dönem görülen likidite fazlası nedeniyle sterilizasyon çeşitliliği önem kazandı. Konvansiyonel bankalar için ağırlıklı olarak depo ihalelerini etkin bir şekilde kullandık. Bu sterilizasyon yönteminin etkin bir şekilde kullanılamadığı katılım finans sektörüne yönelik ise alternatif araçlar geliştirdi. Bu kapsamda Merkez Bankası olarak katılım esaslı repo ve ters repo pazarı olan BIST taahhütlü işlemler piyasasında işlemlere başladı. Ek olarak yine bu dönemde Türk lirası karşılığında ters swap ihalelerini de diğer bir alternatif sterilizasyon aracı olarak devreye aldık. Son dönemde likidite fazlasının gerilemesiyle döviz cinsi ters swap işlemlerini sonlandırdık. Ancak bu işlemleri ilerleyen dönemlerde tekrar sterilizasyon ihtiyacı olması halinde kullanılabileceğimiz bir araç olarak tutuyoruz. Böylece katılım finans ilkeleriyle uyumlu araçlarla bu sektöre yönelik sterilizasyon işlemlerini de etkin bir şekilde gerçekleştirmekteyiz. Likidite yönetimine benzer şekilde makro ihtiyati çerçevemizi de tasarlarken katılım finansa özel ihtiyaçları ve şartları göz önünde bulunduruyoruz. Örneğin katılım finans ilkelerine uyumlu olan zorunlu karşılıklara telafi ödemesi mekanizmasını geliştirdik. Ayrıca makro ihtiyati tedbirleri uygularken katılım finans kuruluşlarının hedef ve yükümlülüklerini de farklılaştırıyoruz. Buna ilaveten TCMB kredi programlarına katılım bankalarınca da aracılık edilebilmesi için özel bir yatırım vekalet yöntemi kurguladık. Böylece yatırım taahhütlü avans finansmanı yatak ile ihracat ve döviz kazandırıcı hizmetler reeskont finansmanı imkanlarına katılım bankaları aracılığıyla erişim imkanı tanıdık. Tüm bu atılan adımların bir neticesi olarak likidite açığı veya fazlası olduğu dönemlerde geleneksel ve katılım gösterge getiri oranlarının birbiriyle uyumlu hareket ettiğini gözlemliyoruz. Değerli katılımcılar, sunumumda son olarak katılım finans sektörünün küresel görünümü ve sektöre ilişkin beklentilere değinmek istiyorum. Katılım finans sadece Türkiye'de değil, küresel olarak da hızla büyümekte. Güncel IFSB verileri küresel İslami finans varlıklarının 2024 yılı itibarıyla yaklaşık 3,9 trilyon ABD dolarına ulaştığını ortaya koymakta. Sektörün büyüme hızı oldukça yüksek. Sektör son 10 yılda ortalama %8,4 oranında büyüdü. Türkiye küresel İslami bankacılık varlıklarında yaklaşık %3'lük bir paya sahipken kamu ve özel sektör sukuk ihraç payları sırasıyla %4,1 ve %22,5. Bu rakamlar Türkiye'de de katılım finansın büyüme potansiyelinin yüksek olmaya devam ettiğini ima ediyor. Sektörün küresel piyasada büyüme hızını sürdürebilmesi için piyasa derinliğinin artması ve özellikle kısa vadeli likidite imkanlarının genişlemesi oldukça önemli. Bu bağlamda yüksek kaliteli likit varlık eksikliği katılım finans sektöründe dünya genelinde sektörün yaşadığı önemli bir zorluk olarak öne çıkıyor. Yine ikincil piyasaların derinleşmesi ve düzenli sukuk ihraçları hususunda sektörde derinliğe ve ürün çeşitliliğine ihtiyaç bulunduğu görülüyor. Bu çerçevede bankamızın da kurucu ortakları arasında yer aldığı Uluslararası İslami Likidite Yönetimi Kuruluşu (IALM), küresel katılım finans sektörünün önde gelen pazarlarında kısa vadeli sukuk ihracı gerçekleştirmekte. Biz dahil hissedarların çoğu yıllık temettülerini tekrar kurum sermayesine ekleyerek IALM'in büyümesine destek oluyor. IALM ihraçlarının artması, katılım finans kuruluşlarının likidite yönetiminin kolaylaştırılmasına ve finansal piyasaların derinlik kazanmasına önemli katkı sunuyor. 2013 yılında gerçekleştirilen ilk IALM sukuk ihracından bu zamana kadar toplam ihraç tutarı 120 milyar ABD dolarına ulaştı. Zorlukların yanı sıra sektörün önünde küresel anlamda fırsatlar da bulunuyor. Örneğin ESG olarak bilinen çevresel, sosyal ve yönetişim odaklı finansmanı kapsayan küresel sürdürülebilir borç piyasasında yıllık hacim 1,5 trilyon ABD doları seviyesinde. Faizsiz finansman, risk paylaşımı, etik yatırım ve çevreye duyarlılık gibi yaklaşımlar hem katılım finans ilkeleriyle hem de sürdürülebilir finans uygulamalarıyla uyumluluk gösteriyor. Gelişmekte olan ülkelerin yeşil dönüşüm için finansman ihtiyacı bu piyasanın büyümeye devam edeceğine işaret etmekte. Katılım finans sektörü küresel ESG trendlerine entegre olma potansiyeline sahip görünüyor ve bu alan sektör için önemli bir büyüme fırsatı sunmakta. Bu kapsamda Türkiye'nin ESG temalı ihraçlarında katılım finansın önemli rol almasını bekliyoruz. Değerli katılımcılar, düzenli aralıklarla katılım finans sektörünün paydaşları ile buluşuyoruz. Bugünkü buluşmamızın da bilgi paylaşımı ve ortak vizyon geliştirme açısından son derece verimli geçeceğini düşünüyorum. Albaraka Forum'un katılım finans paydaşları arasındaki diyaloğa katkılarını takdir ediyor, emeği geçen herkese teşekkür ediyorum. Hepinizi tekrar saygıyla selamlıyorum.
Thank you, Mr. Karahan, for that presentation. And to deliver the opening remarks of the summit, it's my pleasure in welcoming the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the İlim Yayma Foundation Istanbul, His Excellency Mr. Necmettin Bilal Erdoğan.
Assalamu alaikum. Distinguished guests, esteemed scholars, representatives of the world of Islamic finance community, ladies and gentlemen, I extend to each and every one of you my warmest regards. It is truly an honor to be with you once again in this Global Islamic Economy Summit. When Mr. Ermut was talking about the security in the region, I remembered an Italian friend of mine when I was living in Bologna, Italy. He was the vice rector actually of the Bologna University, and he's an archaeologist, and he's digging in the region, in Syria, in southeast of Turkey. And when a terror organization was ruling the south of Gaziantep, his dig was right at the very border, and he was digging along with Turkish tanks and watching the flags of the terrorist organization on the other side. And his family was asking me in Italy, Bilal, why is he there? Do you think it is safe there? And always he would respond, this is safer than Switzerland. So he proved to be right. He opened his archaeopark last year with great success, and he has really discovered immense artifacts from more than 2 millennia before. And Turkey continues to be this safe haven among all these wars in the region, and we've been witnessing those wars since the 80s, starting with the Iran-Iraq war, then the first Gulf War, the second Gulf War, Syria, Iraq, and if you extend it a little bit, then you go up to the war in Ukraine, instabilities in other neighboring countries. It is really striking to see that all that instability seems to be serving now to this genocide that's unfolding in Palestine. And the emphasis on this story that the security of a country necessitates insecurity for others, that is actually the reality that we are facing for several decades now. And I'm hoping for once this genocide will come to an end, hopefully, and really the security of anybody will not necessitate the insecurity of anybody else. And that's why I would like to pray once again that this genocide unfolding in Gaza comes to an end, inshallah. At this very point, Islamic economics offers not merely an alternative financial system, but a moral, human-centered, and justice-based way of life. As someone working a lot in the field of education with universities, with scholarship programs, and with students, with youth, I think the Islamic finance sector, the people, you guys, the people who are actually working in this field every day, have a great information asymmetry with the people. You know, the fact that we are still talking about 8% in Turkey, even that 8% to a great extent do not realize what Islamic finance means. It is not really only about an interest-free way of reaching finance. It is actually a potential alternative paradigm for humanity. We have really internalized the fact that we are living in a capitalist world, but we don't realize, if we think about Anatolia being thousands and thousands years old, this is only about 200 years old system. So we don't know what's going to take place in another 200 years, whether we will be facing another type of economic system. But I can attest to one thing for sure, that this capitalist system is not Islamic. Because the values, what we call the maqasid sharia, are not really targeted in the way this capitalist system is shaped and formed. So the goal is not really to evade interest only, because it is not halal. But the goal is to really work for an alternative paradigm for people to begin questioning what this sort of financial system is actually making out of us. So Islamic economics really, this aspect is only one component, and we should really work to narrow that information asymmetry with the users, with those who need access to finance. And really, I also criticize the sector within our country for being too conservative in the way they approach their work, in their way of marketing as well. So how do we frame our products? How do we try to make sure that people realize that there are these ways of doing similar things as well? And it's not only about, it's not only about evading interest. It's also about making partnerships. We are talking about participation in Turkey. When you say participation institutions, we mean interest-free Islamic finance. But are we really participating? Who is participating? Do the participants realize that they are participating in something? So how can we make sure that this partnership is more resonating with the society and they are more aware of what's happening? So we should ask if our financial products are aligned with the Islamic ethical values. Are we satisfied with merely avoiding interest, or are we fulfilling our moral and social obligations? Are we integrating individuals into the system by empowering them, or do we just care about indebting them? Millions of people today live still outside of the banking system, not because they are excluded, but because the system itself has lost its humanity. Islamic finance should not merely bring these individuals into the system, it must uplift them with dignity that it offers. So we should consider over 800 million people lack access to clean water. I guess you should add 2 million in Gaza to that. Over 1 billion face food insecurity. Income inequality is no longer a plight of the developing nations. It is also now at the core of the wealthiest nations, growing income inequality. We can change this, but We can only change this by putting humans again at the center of our systems. That's why we need to reinforce the concept of human-centered economy. We are speaking of a model where ethics, compassion, and responsibility lie at the heart of production, consumption, distribution, and finance. This is precisely the model that Islamic economics proposes. So, zakat is not just an act of worship. It is a mechanism for social equity. Waqf is not merely a historical institution, it is a formal structure for social solidarity. Sadaqah is not just personal charity, it is a tool for reinforcing social justice. And profit loss sharing is not just a financing model, it is an ethical framework for sharing both risk and value. Therefore, we should focus not only on what we reject, but more importantly, what we seek to rebuild in its place. So, dear guests, we must grow Islamic finance without detaching it from its ethical roots. And innovation over imitation must be the way forward. We must develop collective financial solidarity mechanisms, zakat, waqf, and sadaqah for addressing global humanitarian crises. And platforms like these, the Al-Baraka summits, must be treated not merely as financial conferences, but as arenas for moral and intellectual cooperation. That's why, as a board member of Ibn Khaldun University, with Ibn Khaldun's vision of justice, Imam Ghazali's perspective on ethics, and the technical sophistication of our times, I truly believe we can shape a new horizon together. Allow me to conclude by once again expressing our unwavering solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Every innocent life lost is a wound to our conscience. Every voice raised here in these fora is important. We will continue to raise that voice, we will amplify it, and we will support it with more action. Allah grant us the will to establish a world order based on justice, mercy, and wisdom, inshallah. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum.
Thank you for your invaluable contributions, Mr. Erdogan. Esteemed participants, as global capital searches for direction and as investors seek performance without compromising their principles, a quiet revolution is currently unfolding. One where tradition meets technology and purpose meets precision. In this moment, we're not just launching a product, we're setting a new global benchmark. This is the البركة Islamic ESG Index, powered by Spectrico. It's a platform built to resolve the long-standing tension between Sharia compliance, ESG alignment, and financial performance. Not a compromise between them, but a convergence. At its core is an AI-native orchestration layer. It tracks ESG performance, it quantifies financial stability, and it validates Sharia alignment with dual governance, where intelligent automation is matched with human oversight. This is where trust is no longer assumed, it's auditable. This index isn't theoretical, it's practical and programmable. It serves asset managers, sovereign funds, banks, and capital markets. It empowers institutions to build portfolios with purpose, structure sustainable finance products, and localize benchmarks through licensed distribution, including Islamic stock exchanges. What makes it revolutionary is not just what it measures, but how. The Al-Baraka Islamic ESG Index is not just built for today, it is a platform for what's next. So let's build it together.
For too long, investors had to choose Sharia compliance, ESG alignment, or financial performance. Now that choice is over. The Al-Baraka Islamic ESG Index, powered by Spectrico, unites Maqasid al-Sharia principles with global ESG frameworks into one credible investable standard. Built for listed and private markets, an AI-native engine evaluates ESG, financial and Sharia data in real time, with automated scoring, full auditability, and dual oversight by AI and Sharia governance. It empowers institutions to build compliant, performance-driven strategies. The Al-Baraka Islamic ESG Index is built for asset managers, sovereign funds, capital markets, and banks. It supports Sharia-aligned finance, localized benchmarks, and credible scoring tools, enabling licensed partners and Islamic stock exchanges to scale distribution. A single index, multiple markets, globally adaptable. At the heart of the experience is simplicity, a dynamic, intuitive interface designed for investment professionals. Whether you're working with corporate or sovereign sukuks, private holdings or public equities, the pairing possibilities are endless. You choose the companies, sectors, stock exchanges, and geographies. The platform recalculates in real time. The system offers AI-powered recommendations based on selected benchmarks, investment mandates, and Sharia principles, ensuring portfolios are built with precision from the start. But every recommendation is governed by a human-led, principles-based process. Technology does the heavy lifting, while oversight, intention, and values remain in human hands. This is tech-led, human-driven governance, engineered to ensure trust, transparency, and ethical accountability. Behind the scenes, a transparent governance engine ensures every inclusion or exclusion meets screening thresholds, with dual oversight from automated rules and Sharia board review. What you are seeing is not a static list. It's a living instrument designed for how modern capital actually moves. The Al-Baraka Islamic ESG Index, powered by Spectrico, delivers performance, purpose, and credibility. Built for the Islamic world, ready for global capital. It's more than a benchmark. It's a blueprint. Let's redefine what investing enables. Partner with us.
Esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered at the Global Islamic Economy Summit, an important platform that has shaped and will continue to shape the world of Islamic finance. A lot of effort has gone into the preparation of this summit, and of course, we would like to recognize that effort by introducing the Al-Baraka Summit partners and sponsors. To present these certificates, I would like to call the Secretary General of the Al-Baraka Forum for Islamic Economy, His Excellency Yusuf Hassan Khalawi, to honor our partners and sponsors of the second Global Islamic Economy Summit in Istanbul. I would also like to invite to the stage the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the İlim Yayma Foundation, Istanbul, His Excellency Mr. Necmettin Bilal Erdoğan, and the Chief Executive Officer and member of the Board of the Türkiye Wealth Fund, His Excellency Mr. Salim Arda Ermut. We will begin with our global partner. They are the Al-Baraka Group. Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Al-Baraka Group, Mr. Hussam bin Haj Amr. Ladies and gentlemen, the hosting global partner, Al-Baraka Group. Our hosting partner is Halkbank. Join me in welcoming the CEO of Halkbank, Mr. Osman Arslan. The summit's hosting partner, Halkbank, there. Next is our platinum sponsors representing Türkiye Katılım Sigorta is Mr. Güray Çelik, the General Manager at Türkiye Katılım Sigorta. Sizi şöyle alalım efendim. Before we continue welcoming our sponsors to the stage, I would like to welcome the President of the Investment and Finance Office of the Republic of Turkey, His Excellency, Mr. Ahmet Burak Dağlıoğlu, to the stage to present these certificates as well. Welcome. Continuing with our platinum sponsors, representing the Emlak Katılım Bank is the Deputy General Manager of Credit Risk Management, Mr. Nihat Bulut. And also part of our platinum sponsors is CPay. Representing CPay is Mr. Nezih Sipahioğlu, the founder and global CEO of CPay. And our gold sponsor is Takas Bank. Please welcome the President of the Board of Members of Takas Bank, Mr. Mahmut Kayacık. The silver sponsor of the summit is Yıldız Holding. Join me in welcoming the Financial Affairs Vice President of Yıldız Holding, Mr. Muharrem Uzunoğlu. Next are our bronze sponsors. Representing the Ziraat Participation Bank is the Deputy General Manager of Product Management and Digital Banking at Ziraat Participation Bank, Mr. Suat Tüccar. And representing Kolendi is the co-founder and CEO of Kolendi Bank, Mr. Deniz Devrim Cengiz. Ladies and gentlemen, those were our bronze sponsors of the البركة Summit. Now on to our fifth panel sponsor is Ayhan Hukuk. Join me in welcoming the founder of Ayhan Hukuk, member of Bezmi Alem University Board of Trustees and member of the Board of Directors of Darül Eceze Vakıf, Mr. Namık Ayhan. And last, but certainly not least, is our office media partner, اقرأ. Please welcome اقرأ Media Manager, Mr. Hasan Alatas. Ladies and gentlemen, the partners and sponsors of the second Global Islamic Economy Summit in Istanbul. İbni Haldun Üniversitesi Rektörümüzü de davet etmek istiyorum sahneye. Merkez Bankası Genel Müdürümüzü de davet etmek istiyorum sahneye. Once again, let me get a strong round of applause for the partners and sponsors of the second Global Islamic Economy Summit in Istanbul. Thank you very much.